Hello and welcome to this workshop video all about my tips on executing your own electronics detox. If you haven't watched the intro video to this pack, I'll link it, but you should definitely go check it out because it has all the information about what my electronics detox included. In this video, I want to share with you a couple of tips and things that I think will help you if you want to execute your own, which I think that you definitely should, especially in this day and age. The first thing that I think was really helpful for me was to go incrementally. Instead of quitting everything all at once, it was very helpful to cut one thing out at a time and kind of ease my way into the social media and electronics force field that I was putting up. Next, one of the most important parts of my electronics detox was unfollowing and unfriending people guilt-free on social media. So often we feel badly about unfollowing or unfriending people, or at least I know I do, especially if they go to your school or they're someone you work with. Chances are they're not gonna know that you unfollowed them, and your social media should be a place where you scroll through and are happy. So if you're following someone who doesn't make you happy, unfollow them. Or Facebook has a really nice feature where you don't have to unfriend someone totally, but you can unfollow them so their things don't pop up in your feed. As far as Instagram and Snapchat, I definitely say unfriend or unfollow people that don't bring you happiness, because why would you scroll through your social media feed for anything other than inspiration and to check in on the people who you really care about? Next, as far as social media apps on your phone, I would definitely say don't just log out of the apps, delete them completely. I debated with myself a lot when I was setting up my project whether I was just going to put them in a forbidden folder or delete them altogether, but deleting them altogether was one of the best things that I think I could have done because it completely got them out of my mind, it didn't tempt me at all, and nothing's gonna happen if you log out. Part of me was like, but will I forget my password? Oh no. You can reset your password if you really forget it. Just delete it, go all the way so you're not even tempted. This was a little thing in itself that's kind of weird, but for me it was very, very big, was plugging my phone in somewhere other than right next to my bed. I plugged it in just on a shelf across my room so that I couldn't reach over and it was the first thing that I looked at in the morning. And I actually also challenged myself not to look at it at all in the mornings until I was heading out to play music on my car. But if that feels like too big of a challenge for you, plug it in just somewhere other than right next to your bed, whether that be a shelf across your room or even outside of your room would be totally an awesome idea. Especially in the morning, we don't need that harsh blue light, we don't need the outside world to so immediately interfere into our ritualistic morning wake up. We can totally get ready without thinking about the outside world, and it will be there for us to pick up when we're ready to leave and go out into it, both virtually and physically. Now, if you plan on going all the way like I did eventually in your detox, I would definitely plan ahead and prepare some things that you know you like to do that don't involve electronics. So whether that means you like to do some knitting or some coloring or checking some books out of the library. I did not place any books on hold until about the second week, and that first week was a little brutal while I was waiting for my books to be ready. Plan ahead, get your books ready, get your, I don't know, coloring books ready, get your crayons ready, or give yourself a project to do. At the time I did mine, I actually happened to be finishing up an art project for school, and it was a really great thing to dedicate my time to, both so that I got my project done and so that I could have something to keep me busy and keep my hands and my creative mind going. Also, make plans to still hang out with your friends, because chances are, if you're like me, I'm so busy that a lot of the time I talk to my friends is through the phone or calling them or something like that, but make sure you make some plans to see them in person too, otherwise you'll go crazy since you can't talk to them on your phone. Finally, the most important thing if you want to get the most out of this electronics detox is to be committed. Really commit yourself to this task at hand, and if it feels like you have the urge to use your phone or some other electronic media, remember that you don't need it. First off, an example is our generations past have not had social media or really TV since the past, probably 40 years, I think. I think that's what my AP US history class taught me. So for a long time, people didn't have these kinds of electronic distractions to occupy themselves. They did other stuff, so it's not like it can't be done. Another thing you could do is think of my friend Maria. Anytime I started to feel like, oh my god, I need my phone, I thought of my friend Maria, who doesn't have a phone and who doesn't use social media and is so hard to get a hold of, but nonetheless, she is just this zen being who doesn't exist on the internet and sometimes doesn't exist in real life. She survives and she lives a great life, social media and electronics free. Think of Maria, think of our ancestors pre-Apple generation. I know that all sounds really dramatic and like poor me, 21st century problems, but sometimes we can get a little addicted. Our phones are kind of like an adult pacifier. We just always have to have it with us, which is sad. But we are attempting to break free from that stigma and that need, and we can all do it. Commit yourself, really, really remind yourself that you can do it and that this will benefit you in the long run. It will help your mind be so much more clear. It will help you be so much more aware and focused on yourself and your surroundings. Stay tuned to this workshop for some more motivation into your electronics detox, and stay tuned to my happiness workshop to find more happiness-inducing tips, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, bye!